What's up, guys? I am going to be doing something a little bit different on the Evo. I'm gonna black out my headlights. So let me show you how they look right now, and that way you can understand what is it that I'm gonna be doing today. So currently they're like the clear OEM Evo 8 headlights, and I'm gonna do the black housing. So basically what's in chrome, I'm going to black it out with a low gloss because I have the JDM tail lights and they're blacked out. So that's really annoying, and I've been wanting to do that. I've never done a headlight before. So this is gonna be fairly new for me, but I'm gonna record the process and try to show you guys what are the steps. I'm gonna do it really DIY. I'm gonna do it with paint, spray paint cans. So basically what I bought was a primer adhesion promoter and a low gloss engine enamel paint. So this could withstand, you know, a little bit of heat just in case because of the headlights bulbs at night, but that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bumper and remove the headlights, try to record some of that, and that's it. These exact items. Here you could screenshot this and maybe screenshot this SKU and get out of the light. You can see it there, and same thing here. When you go to any auto parts store, make sure, because the satin and low gloss look the same, you gotta look at the SKU and make sure that you get the SP130, which is the actual low gloss. I made that mistake, so let's try to get a little before and after so you guys can see it, how they currently look. So very quick on removing a Evo 8 headlight. You have to remove the bumper because one of the bolts that holds the headlights is, this bolt right here. So the bumper will be on the way. And it's just that bolt on the side and these two right here. So 1, 2, and then this one bolt right here. And it just comes right off, and then you just unplug 1, 2, and 3. And that's about it. Actually, and this one's missing a screw, so somebody removed these headlights already. So you remove this one, and then this one on the side. And just like that, now you could this one right here too. So then maybe the other one was missing. So just so you know, there is one right here on this headlight at least. This headlight didn't have it, but I mean, you guys could see which bolts you need to remove. Somebody obviously, well, this car was painted and whoever put it back together didn't do that good of a job. Because all the bolts are just miscellaneous, like they're not the same OEM bolts. Like all the bolts that I'm removing are all different lengths. So yeah, a little bit of a rant.
remove the headlights, you have to remove all the wiring harness, the HID ballast. This module stays right here, and basically all the bulbs. I'm gonna go exactly through the whole process. I already did this one. Like I said, it's my first time, so I needed to figure it out. But basically, you'll start by, well, I'll record it right now, but it's basically removing all of this. The only thing that stays is the module, and that's about it really. Leave this cover on. You have to remove the bulb. I'll record it right now so you guys can see everything. All right, so first things first, let me make sure. All right, so first things first, you're gonna wanna remove this. Just basically push this clip forward and this thing pops right out. Then after that, you're going to remove these, let me see if I can show you, these 2 screws right here to remove this lever out. And this is for the HID option, because I know that there's some Evo 8s, I believe, that don't have the HID options. Or the ballast, I mean. I'm not sure, but you get what I'm saying, I think. Okay, so this whole clip on the right side snapped, so I didn't have to remove the left one, which it was already broken, so. Like I said, I think somebody already removed these headlights once. And then every single time you remove a screw or something, try to see if you can put it back, so that way you don't misplace and not put the screws back where they belong. Then after here, you're gonna go ahead and remove, let's see. You're gonna go ahead and remove these 2 screws and remove this whole cable mechanism. And remember to wear gloves. You have to wear gloves when you're working with bulbs and stuff. Some vinyl gloves should work. And keep your work area clean, number one thing. So once you remove these 2 screws here for this cable, this should pop right out, just like that. So once this is removed, set it aside. And again, I'm gonna put the 2 screws back in so you know exactly where they go. And now to be able to remove this cable, you have to remove this bracket right here. I'm gonna show you what are the bolts or screws that you gotta remove. Is basically this one right here below, and then there's one on this side right here. So once you remove these 2, this whole bracket could come off, and you could basically pull this harness out of here. I'll record it right now. And now I should be able to remove this metal clip from here. And again, I'm gonna put the bolts right where they go, so I don't lose none of this. And then I have to remove this cable from here. Same thing, just unclip it. No, this is loose. Remove this. Unclip this clip and the 2 bulbs, and this whole harness should come right out. And there you go. So now that the whole harness is out, put this to the side very carefully. Now we could go ahead and remove all these bulbs. Again, separating everything so you don't misplace anything. Now, let me see if I could turn this way so you guys can see better. Yeah, that's way better. So Now we have to remove the ballast and this bulb right here. So first you're gonna wanna unscrew this. Turn it counterclockwise. Once it clips, you can remove this. And basically that's the headlight. It has a push-in clip, so you just push it in, snap it out. It's kind of hard, so. Just like that. Now, remove it out of the way. Basically, very carefully twist this counterclockwise and pop it out. That's simple. And now that the headlight's out, we have to remove the ballast. So the ballast is this part right here on the bottom. All you have to do is unscrew it.
Screws.
And now you can move this out. And it has two cables. So one is a ground, the other one's directly for the headlight. So in this case, you'll want to remove the ground, unscrew it. The ground is a screw right on the housing itself. See if I can show it to you. That right there is the ground, right there. You're gonna unscrew that, remove the ground, and then that's pretty much it. That's basically it. We basically removed everything from the headlight, all the bulbs. We left this here, the module shouldn't be a problem. And now we are ready to bake them in the oven. I'm gonna do one by one. So I'm gonna bake this. I'm not sure yet what Fahrenheit and how many minutes. I'll cover that. Bake it and remove this silicone on the headlight so we could remove the housing. All right, so I cleaned out the headlight just to make sure that there's no oils or grease that are gonna get baked on while we're gonna insert this in the oven. You have to put this in the oven because you need to loosen up all the silicone or seal that the headlight has. So then you can unclip these clips right here and you can remove the lens itself and get to the housing. I'm gonna be doing 240 degrees for 7 minutes. So I'm gonna preheat the oven right now. I'm gonna insert them in. And once I remove them, I quickly need to try to remove this lens out so I could take the lens out before it cools down again. So I'll go ahead and record that and try to remove the lens right now. This, and this is what we are going to be painting itself. Alright, so after taking them apart after the oven, you're going to take the lens apart and you're going to remove this from the lens itself. And I already went ahead and removed the amber corners. And now it's basically sanding them down. I'm going to sand them with a really light 1500 grit. And then I'm going to put the primer and paint them. So I'll walk you through the process. Before the primer, go ahead and clean it with some alcohol and a good napkin. Wipe it down, and then it's primer and paint. All right, so you're gonna, after sanding it down, you're gonna do 2 coats of automotive primer. You're gonna do 2 light coats, 3 minutes in between, and after that last coat, you're gonna let it sit for 8 minutes, and then you're gonna go ahead and do the actual paint. So just finished painting them, and I'm honestly very happy with the way they came out. Usually painting, I don't know, I always have issues painting with spray cans, but this came out really smooth. So now I think I'm gonna let it sit for over 24 hours. I'm gonna let it cure as long as it can. Maybe I'll put it in the oven, but I'm gonna put it outside right now in the sun so they could kind of bake out. And yeah, but so far so good. Now it's just putting them back together and putting them back in the oven. Alright, so now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting the headlight back in the oven at 240 for maybe 8 minutes, just to get all of the sealant softer, and that way I can basically pass a screwdriver around the whole edge and make it flat again for the new sealant that I'm going to put in.
Basically what I'm doing is I'm making it flat all the way around.
So this is what we're going to use to reseal the headlight. Basically what I'm going to do is stretch it out after basically cleaning all of this off. What I'm going to do is stretch it out and fit it through all the grooves all around through the headlight, and you want to do it in one whole string. You don't want to separate it in pieces because again you're sealing the headlight, so you don't want to have any gaps. So I'm just going to keep stretching the whole string all the way around till I reach the end and put it on top. So you'll see that right now. Okay, so basically now that everything's done, the housing's painted, we cleaned out the headlight, I blowed it off just in case, you know, there's no dust or anything inside the headlight. I put in the new sealant all around. Now we're ready to put everything back together, push it in as much as we can so we could try to get these tabs in place, and then we're gonna put it back in the oven so the sealant could kind of get gooey and we could squeeze the headlight in, and then we're gonna use these clips right here so we could basically clamp all the corners around, and seal the headlight back up. And after the sealant gets cooled down, after a couple of minutes, the sealant is gonna get cooled down and your headlight's basically gonna be sealed up again. So I just put the headlight in at 245 degrees and for 8 minutes. So it's been 1 minute. So when you're gonna reheat the sealant, I chose 8 minutes and 245. We'll see how that works out. If I have to put it back in, I will, but I doubt it. So after you remove it, just go ahead and start clamping it down. Took it straight out of the oven right away, pushed it in. I lined up all the clips and pushed them in, and with a plier I basically went around and squeezed it through so all the silicone or sealant, I guess, comes right out like here, like this. And then right away I put in the clips and I pushed the tabs back in. So once you do that, now I'm gonna let this sit for maybe 10-20 minutes just to be sure. And that's it. The headlights are sealed. This one's already sealed. So now it's just a matter of putting all the electric stuff back on and putting the back on the car. So I finished putting the headlights together. This is how they came out. I feel that I have to, wow, you guys can't see because there's so much light in the background. But I feel like I have to maybe polish them out. I feel like there's a little bit of orange peel, but man, they came out nice. And again, there's so much reflection, but you could kind of see the black. Let me see if I could get a good angle. But they came out perfect and I like them. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install them, and then later on, if I have to polish them, I'll polish them. All right, so the headlights are installed, and I cannot just this doesn't justify how good they look. They still have like a yellow tint to it, so I do have to polish them out and maybe re-clear them. But for what it is, 20 bucks, this is amazing. Instead of spending $1,700 for JDM headlights for now, I prefer saving that for the engine. But I am honestly so happy with the way these came out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the bumper and that's it. But pretty good. Oh, and they all turned on. So I checked them out, turned them on and everything, and they all turned on, so we're good to go.